Hey, mister.
Hey mister, we are here with David Zellner, writer and director of Kid Thing. Thank you very much for the interview.
No problem, thank you.
We're going to show the audience this short video of the prank phone call.
Mm-hmm.
Here you see it.
Thank you for calling AAA Auto Parts. Quality is our top priority. How can I help you?
You broke my car.
Excuse me? Hello?
You broke my car.
You broke your car?
Y-E-S. Yes.
What are you talking about?
You broke my car.
Yeah, I get that. Who is this?
Your worst nightmare.
What kind of car is it?
A Lamborghini.
Lamborghini?
Did I stutter?
Alright. Hold on. Yeah, I see it in the parking lot. It's neon green, 20-inch rims. It's all ready to go. Why don't you come down and get it?
Maybe I will.
Well, why don't you then?
Well, why don't you make me?
Maybe I will. Why don't you come down here?
I will.
Do it. Do it then. I'll kick your ass.
No, you do it then and I'll kick your ass.
Come on then. Get on down here.
I will. I'll kick your ass all the way to Mars.
You decided to let your character make this phone call. Can you tell us a bit about your film, about Annie, and yeah, maybe why is she doing this?
Well, we wanted to do a film about, I work with my brother, and we wanted to do a film about a character, a girl that was dealing with a lot of confusion and anger and frustration, and she had no moral compass to kind of guide her, and we kind of took elements from childhoods in general, that either our own or other people's that we're familiar with, like little bits and pieces of kind of mischief, and then kind of amplified it for dramatic purposes for the film.
Yeah, and what is the story about? Like, what does Kid Thing tell?
Well, it's about this girl that lives in the Texas countryside, named Annie, and she basically spends her time. She can't really relate to other children or to other adults, and she doesn't have an adult in her life that's really any kind of role model. So she's very much on her own, and because of that, she kind of, or at least in part because of that, she kind of runs free and engages in lots of acts of mischief, a lot of which are normal for kids her age, but she takes it pretty far in terms of vandalism and things like that. But a lot of it's just kind of testing boundaries and exploring the world around her in a through the kind of perspective of a child. With a kind of child logic, which is different from an adult logic in terms of how they solve problems or what they think is acceptable behavior. And then one day she encounters this. She finds this abandoned well, a hole in the ground, and there's this mysterious woman calling from it who is asking for her help. And because she has such difficulty kind of relating to or connecting with people in general, but particularly adults, she is conflicted as to how to handle that. So we just want to take a kind of a naturalistic kind of coming-of-age story and combine it with some fable-like qualities.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think we thought that Kid Thing is a very unique film, but we were a bit puzzled. We were like, what is it? Is it a fairy tale? Is it a reality?
It's a combination. That's what we were going for. Yeah, like having it, set in trying to be honest and realistic in terms of the situations she was dealing with, but then work in, some elements of a fable. Because growing up, I think I really responded to when I was a little kid in terms of like literature that was accessible to me. A lot of the contemporary literature wasn't very interesting to me, and I felt like it was kind of watered down and just kind of dumbed down for kids. And I really enjoyed finding like incredibly old, like folklore and Greek mythology and Grimm's fairy tales and those sorts of things. And I felt like they weren't. They had much darker undertones.
Yeah.
And I felt like because they weren't afraid to go into dark places, even though they were geared towards children. And I as a child, I really respected that and liked that it wasn't, diluted for a child consumption like the contemporary work I was reading. So because of that, I don't know, I just always liked the kind of fable-like element incorporated into it.
We don't want to spoil the ending, but a short question about the ending. It gives a lot of a different possibility for interpretation.
Mm-hmm.
Either goes more into fantasy or it's a metaphor. Did you decide what it has to be, or do you want to keep it a bit open for the audience?
Oh, for the most part, keep it a bit open, but the film is we wanted the film to be from a child's perspective. Instead of like an adult's perspective, kind of looking back with an air of sentimentality, because I feel like a lot of films about children kind of do that, and we didn't. When you're a child, you don't look at things with a sentimental perspective. Everything is extreme, beauty and horror and things like that. So we wanted to play with that, and so from her perspective. There is a kind of a definitive, pathway that goes as this kind of like escape, and into this kind of fantasy element. So that's kind of what we're playing with.
Okay, that sounds very interesting. Watch our next video to know more about the style.